Welcome to Ground Control. I have a product for review. This is the Eachine 50mm EDF F-16 Flying Falcon jet. I wanted to review this as soon as I saw it coming down the pipeline. This is courtesy of Banggood. I want to thank them very much for sending this for review. I just got it assembled. I want to take it out to the field, launch it, see how it flies. We'll put at least one flight on it, maybe two. And then I want to come back here. I'll give you the specs on the plane and a couple of assembly tips that you are going to want to see. Okay? Could save you a plane. Alright, so I will see you out at the field.
Alright, are we ready to launch the Eachine F-16 50mm EDF jet? Got very little wind out this morning. It's a little cloudy and we're getting a lot of drift of all that smoke in California, so it looks smoggy everywhere. I have a 3S 1300 milliamp hour 3C LIPO in it, a 30C LIPO in it. I have added some makeshift landing skids to keep this up off the dirt and the rocks. I have it neutrally balanced on the recommended CG, and I am at the recommended flying weight. So, are we ready? Alright, we're going to try a belly launch with it. Let's see if we can get it in the air. I have my, that was a no drama launch. Wow, that's pretty fast. I need to tone down my my ailerons a bit. They're a little twitchy. So far, so good. It feels pretty rock solid in the air. The CG, the recommended CG feels good. I've got all the control surfaces in a neutral balance. I just wanted to test out my elevator there. It looks like I got plenty of elevator authority. I've got my timer set for 3 minutes. Whoa. I think I pulled back a little too much on the elevator there. Oh yeah, that is a very fast roll rate, guys. I'm gonna have to tone down my ailerons a bit. Okay, so I'm cruising around here at about 70-75% throttle right now. Man, that looks awesome. Slow it down a bit. Doesn't that sound cool? Awesome. Okay, I'm getting my haptic now. Oh man, I think Eachine is going to have a hit on their hands with this one. I think this is their first EDF jet. Okay, let's get ready to bring it in. Yeah, let's go around. A little too fast. And I need to take out some aileron. Oh, kind of wanted to stall on me there. But we got it back on the ground. I've got to bring it in with a little more speed. You see that abrupt wing wag right there at the end? But that was pretty slow, and I had some high alpha into it. So I think with a little more thrust, a little more speed coming in for high alpha, I think this will land nice and pretty. But man, I tell you, after the first flight, I am pretty darn impressed with this F-16. It was rock solid in the air. I didn't have to put any trim into it. It held its line nice and level. The CG, the specified CG, seems spot on. I've got a neutral balance on that CG. That is awesome. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this 50mm EDF jet, and I think that Eachine is going to sell a ton of these. All right, so I want to meet you back at the hangar. I want to give you the specs on the plane. I have a couple of very important assembly tips that you need to be aware of, because you don't want to lose this plane the first time you put it in the air. So I suggest you watch those assembly tips that I'm going to give you, and then I will give you information on amp usage, amp draw at full throttle on this, and what my all-up weight is, where I've got my CG, etc., etc. So I will see you back at the hangar.
All right, you're looking inside the fuselage on the Eachine 50mm EDF. I wanted to show you this because I want you guys to do this before you do anything else on the assembly. You've got this little louvered panel down here that provides additional air to the EDF unit, which is a very, very smart idea. Okay, this is glued on, but you can peel it off. I want you to peel off that panel. You're going to have to re-glue it because I want you to look inside. You see this channel in here? Okay, well, the ESC wires and the servo wires are just hanging loose in there, and they could come loose. So what I am going to do is I'm going to cut a little slot in the foam on one side of the channel here, on the other side of the channel here, and I'm going to take a little piece of either 1mm, probably 2mm carbon, just a small section of 2mm carbon, and I'm going to bury that 2mm carbon across this channel so that these wires can't dangle free, and so they don't move toward the EDF unit. I highly suggest that you do that before you do anything else. Okay, secure the servo and the ESC wires so that they're not just dangling down inside the fuselage, may come loose and get into the EDF unit. Okay, do that first. All right, now I'm going to zoom out, and the other thing that I suggest you do, everything just glues together. Okay, I'm not going to have time to do a complete assembly video. But your carbon rod goes all the way through the fuselage. Okay. Your main wings have holes and they have tabs. And your servo connector is right here. Okay, buried in this little piece of foam. Pull it out as far as you can and check the wire order before you connect those. You don't want to connect your servo wire upside down to this extension cable here, okay? So pull this out a little bit, just far enough that you can actually see the color of the cable. Okay, if you look in there you can see it. Make sure that you pull that out a little bit, and then you can push it back in, but make sure that you connect those wires properly. Okay, so the wings just slide over top of the carbon spar. Connect your servo wires in the proper order. Push those back into the foam, and then you're going to glue both wings, and then your vertical stabilizer glues on top. Your horizontal stabilizers, you see these little tabs? Let me grab the right side. And the tabs make sure that everything is lined up properly, and those glue on as well. So all you've got to do is take care of those dangling wires that I showed you in there. Put in your carbon spar, put on your wing halves, connect your servo wires in the proper order, glue the sides and the tabs into the fuselage, glue in your horizontal stabilizers, wait until your glue sets up, then attach all of your control rods, you know, program your receiver and everything, get it ready to go. Your hatch is just a tab and magnet that stays on there, and that is absolutely all there is to the assembly. But I wanted to show you those two things because you could fry a receiver, fry a servo if you don't get those connected in the proper order, and if you don't secure those cables inside that fuselage, you may end up eating them with your EDF unit. Alright, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the air.